So I've used a variety of formative assessment tools online. I've used the TestGen program that you can load into Schoology. I've used Schoology made quizzes. I've used the HMH accompanying materials. I'm also using a program now called MathSpace. What I'm getting from that is that my students are at very, very different levels, not only among uh, the content that we're covering right now, but also overall, their understanding of math, their understanding of how one number goes into another. And I think that's really holding some of my kids back. So what I can see is I've already taken my students and divided them into three levels. What I can see is coming into my classroom and finding a way for my kids to go into stations where they're peer teaching, peer reviewing. I described in one of my other answers how the students, when they explain to each other, often explain it in a way that is student friendly, whereas how I might explain something is more math teacher. I also like the idea, though, that of students interacting with each other, but then coming out of that peer interaction time to do a little self work, either working on MathSpace or working on the in the AGA tools. But then also finding time for me to sit and talk with them in small groups. When I talk one on one with students, if they're honor students, if they're very confident with their grade, if they're socially confident, one on one discussions work really well. But often, when students are struggling with a content like math, talking one on one with the teacher can be scary. So, also using that formative feedback to put kids with students, other students who can support them, both mathematically and socially, I think that would be a great way to implement stations in my room. One where they're working by themselves, another where they're, peer teaching, another where they're peer decoding, and then another where they're working with me in a small group where I can see them actually in action and I can see what each kid actually knows on their own.